For more, let's bring in CTV News U.S. political analyst Eric Ham. Eric, will speak about the NATO meeting that's getting underway, but I want to begin with your reaction to Donald Trump's really apparent anger at Israel and Iran over the fragile ceasefire deal. I want to play the clip that he had this morning just before boarding Marine One, and then we can get your reaction on the other side.
I'm not happy with Iran either, but I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.
So, Eric, obviously he's incredibly frustrated, but in the meantime says that ceasefire is continuing to hold.
Well, look, we have to remember this is not just Donald Trump, president and commander-in-chief. This is also Donald Trump, former reality television star and tabloid maven. And so what we're seeing from the president is now he's acting as both writer, director, and producer. And this is a production that the president himself has orchestrated between the United States, Israel, and Iran. The problem is it doesn't appear as though Iran and Israel either know their parts or even part of this production that the president has implemented. And so what we're seeing here is Donald Trump is now attempting to try to hold this ceasefire together, but it appears as clear as day that neither Iran nor Israel are vested in this. And so this is going to be, I think, a very difficult ceasefire for the president to hold, more so simply because we know nothing about the verification of the U.S. strikes on those 3 nuclear sites. In addition to that, we don't know the details of this ceasefire and what it means for Iran's continued uranium enrichment. The statements that we've gotten from Iran is that they are going to actually continue to do so, but to continue with their enrichment uranium program suggests that Israel remains in jeopardy, and this could start all over again. And again, I think what it speaks to is what exactly did the president orchestrate, and what are the details of this ceasefire? And more importantly, what is the baseline, and does it lead to a curb or a stoppage of Iran's program, or is this only a pause?
So Donald Trump now at The Hague meeting with other members of the NATO alliance. How receptive will they be to the suggestions to increase defense spending? As we know, many countries, including Canada, for quite some time have been a laggard in that spending.
Yeah, that's right. And we know that there are some countries that are actually supportive of this increase, but others, such as Spain, has already made clear that this is simply not a number that they can, nor will they attempt to try to meet. So there could be some tensions there, but also given the fact that we have yet to see any full-throated move towards peace, either in Ukraine and now with the Middle East still equally as combustible, I think we will see some countries with a readiness. Of course, the big 3, the UK, Germany, and France are prepared to do so, but it says little about what other countries are prepared to do. And President Donald Trump certainly will be pushing, albeit aggressively, for nations to actually seek to meet that goal.
And I believe Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is at this meeting. How do you think that could play out with Donald Trump being there as well, and any potential meeting between them?
Well, look, Donald Trump has been very good at least orchestrating what we see here to be a bit of a facade with this ceasefire between Israel and Iran. And however long it holds, Donald Trump will be able to take credit and claim credit for that length of time. It simply is not going to work as simply or as neatly when it comes to Ukraine and Russia, because what we continue to see over and over is Donald Trump simply cannot contain Vladimir Putin. And also, I think, given what we have seen play out between Israel and Iran, I think that is going to spur Russia to be even more aggressive in Ukraine, and that's going to put Donald Trump on his back foot and it could make him even more desperate to get something done, very much in similar fashion that what we've seen between Israel and Iran. And it could be very tricky because, again, I think what we're seeing here is a house of cards, and all it takes is one of those cards to actually come crumbling down.
CTV News U.S. political analyst Eric Ham. Eric, always appreciate your time. Thanks so much.